You've probably heard the terms quality assurance and quality control thrown around, right? Sometimes people use them like they're the same thing, but in a high-stakes field like construction, they are two totally different and absolutely essential pillars that make sure our buildings are safe, sound, and actually built to last. You can think of them as the unseen blueprint for quality.
I mean, ever wonder about that? Why do some ancient structures still stand while a modern building might have problems after just a few years? Well, a huge part of the answer lies right here, in how well the project managed quality assurance and quality control. And the stakes couldn't be higher, because we're not just talking about buildings. We're talking about legacy, safety, and enormous investments.
And when quality management breaks down, the results can be, well, disastrous. We're not talking about a few small cracks in a wall. As you can see, poor quality can lead to staggering extra costs for rework, it can create seriously unsafe conditions for workers, and it can absolutely destroy a company's reputation for years to come.
Okay, so let's tackle the first piece of this puzzle, quality assurance, or QA for short. The best way to get your head around QA is to think of it as the master plan. It's all about being proactive. You're building quality into the project from day one, not just trying to check for it at the very end. Now, the official ISO 9000 standard gives us this very formal definition, but I want you to focus on one key word here, confidence. That's what QA is all about. It's creating the systems and processes that give everyone, from the client to the crew, the confidence that the job is going to be done right.
But let's break that down into even simpler terms. If you're baking a cake, QA is the recipe. It's the detailed blueprint that spells out exactly what quality means for this project. It's the whole system everyone agrees to follow. And most importantly, it's completely proactive. It's designed to stop mistakes before they can even happen.
So, in the real world, what is QA? Well, it's all that crucial planning that happens up front. It's developing the big quality plan, setting the exact standards for every material used, properly training your team on all the procedures, and even picking your suppliers based on strict criteria. It's basically setting the rules of the game before anyone even starts to play. Okay, let's flip to the other side of the coin, quality control, or QC. If QA is the plan, then QC is the check. This is the hands-on, boots-on-the-ground process of actually inspecting the work to make sure it's following that plan. And here's the official definition for QC. Notice the subtle but really important change in wording. QA was about providing confidence that requirements will be met. QC is about the actual actions you take to fulfill those requirements. It's about doing, not just planning. And the simple analogies for QC really drive home the difference. If QA is writing the recipe, QC is tasting the soup to make sure it came out right. It's the cop patrolling the streets. It is the physical inspection. And because it's looking for problems that might have already happened, its nature is fundamentally reactive. So, what does a QC inspector actually do all day? Well, they're out on site conducting very specific tests. They're crushing samples of concrete to test its strength, pulling out a tape measure to check the dimensions of steel beams, pressure testing the plumbing to find leaks. It is all about verifying the physical thing that's been built.
Okay, so now that we've broken them both down, let's put them side by side. This is where the distinction is going to become crystal clear.
The first huge difference is what they focus on. Quality assurance is all about the process. It asks, are our systems and methods set up correctly to get a quality result? But quality control, that's all about the product. It asks, is the thing we just built correct? And that difference in focus leads directly to their goals. The entire point of QA is to prevent defects from ever happening. QC, on the other hand, works on the assumption that mistakes might happen, and its goal is to detect them so they can be fixed. So, here's the bottom line. QA is proactive. It looks to the future to prevent problems. QC is reactive. It looks at the work that's just been done to find any problems. One is prevention, the other is detection. And finally, who's responsible for all this? Well, QA is really a team responsibility. It's baked into the management system that everyone is supposed to follow. QC, though, is usually the job of a specific person or a dedicated team, like the site inspector whose only job is to perform those checks and tests.
So you can see, these two aren't in conflict at all. They're two essential halves of one powerful quality system. In fact, people in the industry will tell you that a single hour spent on proactive QA can save you 10 hours of reactive QC and rework later on. It's all about building a complete culture of quality.
And this diagram right here shows the whole beautiful system in action. A true quality system is a continuous loop. You see, it starts at the top with the company policy on quality.
That policy helps you set the requirements for a project. Then you get to the on-the-ground work, the measurement systems and audits. That's your QC in action. All that testing provides critical feedback. And here's the magic part. That feedback drives improvement in your process. And that's your QA kicking back in. QC finds the problem, QA fixes the system so it won't happen again. It's this powerful, endless cycle.
Ultimately, the goal isn't just to have a plan on paper and an inspector on site. It's about fostering a culture where every single person feels responsible for quality. A place where communication is open, where everyone is held accountable, and where every piece of work is seen as a process that we can always improve. That's how you build things that last for centuries. So next time you look at a massive skyscraper, a bridge, or heck, even the device in your hand right now, think about those two forces that made it possible. The proactive plan to prevent mistakes, and the reactive check to catch them. What do you think the quality plan was for the very screen you're looking at right now? Something to think about.